So our client has an existing Sargent large format system in place, and the client has some older grade 1 knob locks from Sargent. If you've ever worked on those, you know that there is a long steel pin that has to be extracted in order to get the latch bolt disassembled. And the first time I had seen one of those, I had to call a locksmith friend of mine to say, help me, I've never seen this before. Once you know how it works, it's not so awful. Well, this facility is all large format interchangeable core. The client needs to replace that long discontinued series Sargent lock, and I don't recall the series number it was. But again, their installed base is all large format interchangeable core Sargent, not sure of the keyway. I let the client know, well, what might be the least worst thing to do is to order the grade 1 knob lock that Sargent offers. They're 8X series, but they only offer it in conventional core. So conventional core is a fancy way of saying, bear with me. So conventional core is a fancy way of saying the cylinder is in the knob or lever, and the only way to get that out is to partially disassemble the lock. And this happens to be a Schlage D, probably 80, Plymouth 605. This is a D80 for sure. Yeah, D80 is what that is. Just a Plymouth 605. This is a discontinued lock. It's in my lock collection. We're not making these anymore. So cylinder's in there. In order to get that cylinder out to rekey it or service the cylinder, you've got to remove the trim, which is on the Sargent's not going to be unlike this process that I'm doing right now. Pulling that off, getting the cylinder out, then you can start to rekey the lock, but at this point, you have to invest a certain amount of work to get the trim removed from the lock. Not a big deal, but the point of what I am attempting to describe here by fiddling with this lock on camera is that you have to go through all the work to get it working, to get it disassembled, to get it reassembled. Okay, rather than force you to suffer through me doing that, let's move on. So you've got to disassemble it. The client's installed locks are not unlike this, where there is a an interchangeable core principle established. Let's again pause. Okay, so what the client has is not unlike this. They've got an interchangeable core. Their system happens to be Sargent. This just happens to be small format. It's what I had around my desk. All of the futzing around to get this cylinder out is easily done with the control key, removing it, and then a new core and sticking it right back in. Okay, now I'm done. I'm done in 10 seconds. Whereas this is a mess, because now the time that it takes me to service this cylinder, the door's unsecured. With the interchangeable core, it's quick and replaced easily. The application that this client has, there is most certainly an element of security that's involved. Knowing the property application, the type, the building type, the occupant of the building, you certainly have to have control over the keys at all times, or over the doors. They have to be locked, I'm sure. So in this instance, either forego the key system altogether. Let me back up. The client wants a grade 1 knob. They want to replace what's there. It doesn't exist in large format by Sargent. Nor am I aware of a grade 1 knob that will take a large format Sargent core by another manufacturer. I'm not aware of one. I don't believe there is. So the client can either take the grade 1 knob, that'll be like this, and you have to disassemble it more manually and taking more time, or just change it to lever trim. There are 10 or 11 series that you can get in interchangeable core. That's what I mean by the difference between conventional core and large format interchangeable core, and that's the advantage and disadvantage of each system. Thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.